Yo, what's up? Thanks for coming back. Few things before we get this episode started. I'm messing around with my recording settings, specifically my microphone. So, I've moved the microphone in front of my keyboard. I've also put a couple of filters on it in OBS. I'm hoping that means you'll hear less keyboard and mouse sounds. Unfortunately, I have the loudest mechanical keyboard known to man. I think it's a Razer Black Widow from 2015, 16, something like that. It has the Razer MK Greens on it, which I swear to God are the loudest mechanical keyboard keys one can get. I don't love it. I would love a new keyboard, but unfortunately, we're a little poor for that right now. So I can't do that quite yet, but we're working on it. It's in the works. I'm going to keep dialing in my microphone settings. Things will get better from here. So just stick with me. Just stick with me. It's only up from here, people. It's only up from here. All right, now that that's out of the way, I wanted to talk about this giant hole. This wasn't here last time. I am not going to put you through the pain of watching me dig another giant hole. So instead, we'll just plug a time lapse in right here. Alright, so you might have seen Valerie helping me dig this out a little bit, so big ups to Valerie. I didn't record this little section over here, but before we get into why that's there, I want to talk about what I'm going to put here. So after we did this project, I realized that at least when we're up in the normal cobblestone levels, it's so easy to dig things really fast with this beacon setup. So I put the beacon down there so I could, cover a wider area, and I dug out this giant section here. There's going to be a little skylight up there, and we're going to fill in all this dirt here so it'll look. But what this is going to be for is a shulker shell farm. I said last episode that I wanted to get into storage tech. So the idea is that we'll have our shulker shell farm here, because if you're going to do storage tech, you need a lot of shulker boxes, right? And I'm already out just by using that cobblestone loader over there. So we're going to get a shulker farm. I also want to set up a shulker shop, because much like Hermitcraft, we're going to start setting up a shopping district here. Also, Mimi's on right now. I think Mimi is actually working on the permit office, so once she gets that built, we'll be in full swing in terms of the economy. Oh, there she is. Over here, I want to build a furnace. But not just any furnace. Oh no. I want to build a 64 furnace array. Now, if you don't know what that means, it's essentially a super smelter on steroids. This is a design by cubicmetres, so if I go ahead and turn Lightmatica on, here we are. I've got the transparency down, so you're not going to see all the blocks just like last time. But this is a 64 furnace array, meaning there are 64 furnaces in the array. It uses this really cool precision-timed hopper minecart system to make sure that we're burning the fuel and taking the items out all at the perfect time. And theoretically, if you're smelting enough items, it won't waste any fuel, any burn time either, which I thought was pretty awesome. The thing that is more awesome, though, is how fast this thing works. You're not going to get to see that until I finish building this, though. So instead of digging, this episode is going to be all about building this furnace array. The first one I've ever done. I've never even built a super smelter before. I also just needed a smaller project before I jumped into the tree farm and the shulker farm over here. I think the order I'm going to do this in is super smelter, shulker farm, and then we're going to do the tree farm last. think that's the best way to go about things. The super smelter is going to be really nice because I want to make this area very pretty, and I'm going to need a lot of smelted items in order to do that. Same with this shulker farm area over here. I want it to look good. A lot of smelted stones are going to be needed for that. Also, these two projects are just so much bigger. What I was saying is that this shulker farm is going to be a smaller project than this tree farm, right? And of course, the super smelter over here is an even smaller project than the shulker farm is. So I kind of want to go up in complexity, right? This is still going to be pretty complex. I mean, it's a cubic meter build. However, it's not going to be nearly as bad as the shulker farm over here because of the shulker in the farm. Getting that thing in here is going to be such a pain. You'll see why when we do it. Now all we have to do is gather the materials. So let's go do that. Alright, it's the next morning, so sorry if I have some morning voice. We are brewing up some night vision potions in here right now. Why am I brewing up night vision potions? Well, I like to use night vision potions at this point instead of torches. It's just a lot easier, it's a lot quicker, I have the equipment to take care of the monsters. Trust me, it's the best way of doing this. I've got my little kitchen over here. Gather up some nether wart. Throw that in there. Grab me some golden carrots from my brewing station over here, and we'll need some redstone to increase the length of it. Alright, so I'm going to get these brewed up. We need a lot of gold. So much gold today. If you look at the material list over there in that corner, that's a lot of powered rails, right? I have no gold left. I crafted about 2 and 10 stacks. 2 stacks and 10 items is what I mean. I need at least 1 more stack. I'm going to make an addition to cubic meters build. So one, I just need the powered rails to make the base model, right? But then I'm going to make some additions too. So I need a few extra rails as well. So I'm going to go gather those up in addition to all the other materials I need to make those. And then we're going to start building this. So I was just going through crafting the hoppers, and I just want to say, this is the first time that having both of these farms has truly paid off. I have all 3 stacks, plus 17. Actually, I've got way more hoppers than I actually need. And if I go into our farms, I mean, it took a lot of the bamboo out, but we still got plenty of left, and it's refilling as we speak. And we didn't even put a dent in the iron that we've got stockpiled over there. This would have taken so long. I think it was almost 3 stacks of hoppers. It was 3 stacks of hoppers plus a few more. No, it was 3 stacks of hoppers plus 17. I've got the exact amount. To make that many hoppers without those farms would have taken me ages. So I'm glad I built those guys before. Alright, so we're down to our last night vision potion. Means I'm going to tunnel up here in a second, but I just want to show you our loot so far. Got a few more things in this area that I'm going to try to mine up before we head to the surface, but we have got almost 3 stacks of gold, 4 and 6 of redstone. Coal and the lapis doesn't really matter, but look how many diamonds I got. A full stack and 3 of diamonds. I wasn't even looking for diamonds, but the new caves update really... Oh, look, more diamonds right up there. But as I was saying, the new caves update, I guess it's not new anymore, it's new to me, has made finding diamonds and really any type of resource so much easier, especially if you use this night vision strategy. It's so much easier just to see where everything is. And it's pretty abundant, too, inside of these massive cave systems. Oh, you know what? I'm dumb. We had 1 more night vision left. We had 1 more night vision potion left, so we're actually doing perfect. As I'm digging up, I just wanted to give you a reference point as to how well the night vision form of mining works. So I have got even more materials now, right? Because I used that last night vision potion to gather a few more things. Each night vision potion lasts for about 8 minutes. So 8 times 6, 48, right? This one's not even up yet, right? We still have 5 minutes left on that. So 43 minutes have gone by about. I got all these materials in 43 minutes. I feel like that's crazy. I feel like that's so good. Back in the old Minecraft days, that would have taken ages. So I'm very happy with that mining session. And I think that's going to be enough gold and enough redstone to get us through this project. Plus, we've got tons of diamonds now for all sorts of other projects. This is our full haul. Pretty good, am I right? Almost 3 stacks of gold. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Almost 7 stacks of redstone. A full stack and 15 of diamond. This stuff over here, you know, doesn't really matter. We got a saddle, so that's kind of cool. That should be more than enough to make all the powered rails I need. And of course, we have a practically infinite amount of iron for right now and wooden planks and all that stuff. So I think we can start making things. The only problem I'm going to run into now, let's see, if we go into here, this is Lightmatica's material list for the smelter. We need a lot more glass. This can be anything. I might just make this out of some sort of stone, cobblestone. I could even do wool. We need a lot of furnaces. That'll be easy. Slabs, easy. Observers, we might need some more quartz for the observers and the repeaters and comparators and things. But other than that, I think we should be pretty good just looking through here. Yeah, the only other thing I am somewhat worried about for right now is, if we come back over here, the honey blocks. Now, Mimi has built a little bee station over here, but I don't think she's been collecting honey recently. So that is going to be our job. We don't need that many, though. I've actually never made honey blocks, so I don't know what you need in order to make them. But I don't think you need a lot of things. So I'm going to hope and pray that that is not going to be that hard. All right, we managed to gather all of the materials. If I go ahead and open this chest up, you'll see them all in here. Except for these damn honey blocks. They're so annoying to get. So because Mimi is on the server, it's going to be her job to get the honey blocks. I don't think they can hear you, but that's okay. It's okay because she's agreeing and she's saying she's so happy to get the honey blocks for us. So everybody say thank you, Mimi. Thank you, Mimi. And we're going to start working on the super smelter. This is my first time building something with Lightmatica, so I'm going to take a second and see if I can't figure out how to do this. Ideally, we have a sort of layer by layer situation going on here. There are a few more things I need to gather in addition to the honey blocks. I lied. None of the entities are included on the material list, so we're going to have to get some chest minecarts and hopper minecarts. In addition, and I think we also need a lava bucket for this guy over here. So we're gonna have to work on that a little bit. I think we can go ahead and get started though. Okay, so I think this is what we do. We set it to all below. We'll say layer 18, and then we just need to find a hotkey so we can move it up. All right, sweet. So I'm just using page up and page down, and that'll take us layer by layer. So we can actually start building this thing. I'm going to set up our replay and time-lapse this baby. Okay, it is the next day again. This is taking us a little bit. We're pretty close. The bottleneck right now are these honey blocks. Mimi's helped me out a little bit. She's in bed right now, but she's gonna help me out a little bit more. And we're gonna get this done. We're gonna get this done. It's looking really, really cool. Let me give you a quick little fly around here. So, the way this furnace array is going to work is essentially we have a minecart here, chest minecart. Goes through a bunch of things. We'll talk about that later, but it's going to shoot out here first, fill up all the furnaces. Then we're going to have a fuel chest minecart go through and fill up all the fuel furnaces, or the fuel sections of the furnaces here. And then finally, we're going to have, once they're complete, another chest minecart get dispensed through that dispenser there, come through and collect all the items. The reason why we need the honey blocks and some hopper minecarts as well, which I've got right here in my inventory, is because they're going to evenly distribute across all of these hoppers and allow us to fill up our smelted chest, which is going to be right here, super fast. This is like a little hack here. I'm not quite sure if this is like 2 times, 3 times hopper speed, whatever it is. It just allows us to fill up the chest a lot faster because we have, I think, 6 hoppers going into the chest, maybe a little bit more, rather than just like 1 or 2, which puts them on 8-tick cooldowns. So I'll show that off when I'm done. I also don't want to show off the facade yet because I'm pretty proud of that. So I'm going to finish this up. We're going to get some more honey blocks and then we're done. I'm super excited to try this out. But before we move on, I wanted to show you how to set up the hopper minecarts in case you want to build this yourself. If I'm remembering, I tried this out in the testing world, but if I'm remembering this correctly, you just put 1 down like this, and I'm actually going to put 2 down. All right, and then all we should have to do is break this block here. All right, sweet. And then for now, what's going to happen is, oh, did we lose a honey block or something over here? Let me see what should be there. Yep, we need a honey block there. All right, I'm going to place that down so it's trapped in there for now. We also need a honey block on here, here, and in the middle to submerge this, right? And that's because if you look at the light Matica, we're going to put another hopper minecart right on top of there. And again, that is just to increase the speed at which this is going to push things into the smelted chest down there. I don't think it'll break anything if I just separate those. Again, what we're trying to do if I F3B here is just trying to make sure that the hitboxes are overlapping all of the hoppers. Now, I think part of the reason why we need honey blocks here, and somebody can tell me this if this is right or not, but part of the reason we need honey blocks here, I think, is to make sure that they stick in place and remain close to these hoppers. But for now, because these don't have a rail underneath them, I should be able to just place this. Okay, I cannot place this. Okay, I've got to remember how to do this section here. My bad, I forgot how we do this. Basically, we just need to, I need a button. Hopefully this will give me a button. Nice. Okay. We just need to push this honey block down into there. Perfect. Looks great. Okay. And then we can remove this. The flying machine is broken, and what happens here is if this chunk unloads while the flying machine is running across, it'll get messed up in the wrong configuration and essentially it'll break. I do have a chunk loader in here to help prevent that. So if we hop down in here and I head down this pit, this also loads the iron farm. And you know what? That might be a part of it. So because we have the ender pearl farm, this is super easy. All we do is chuck an ender pearl into the stasis loader, or sorry, into this stasis chamber here. And because we are in 1.21.3, ender pearls will load chunks. So as long as this ender pearl is here, which it should stay here unless I die or, you know, I get teleported to it. As long as that's there, the chunks in the immediate vicinity will stay loaded. Now, probably what happened here is, I don't know, maybe I died. Maybe I died and the ender pearl unloaded while this was running, or more likely when you log out, the ender pearl disappears. So it's possible that I was just dumb. I logged out while this was still running and it broke. So I'm going to fix this really quick. It's pretty easy to fix, especially with the silk touch pickaxe, so it won't be that bad. Okay, the really annoying part about fixing this is when something gets picked up by the hopper minecart before you can get to it, and then it gets thrown up into the crafter here. If I had more space, ideally I would create some sort of filter so that wouldn't happen, but we're working with a pretty small area here already, so we just deal with what we got, you know? Okay, so I think I did that right. Let's see if I remembered this correctly. So all we should need to do is update this observer here, and off it goes. Perfect. Easy money. All right, we're done. is what I would love to say. Unfortunately, there are a couple of caveats with this smelter, but before I get into those, let's go ahead and do the reveal for what this is going to look like. Actually, before I do the reveal, I'm going to fill in a couple of gaps here, and then I'm going to do the reveal. Okay, I just took a moment to fill in some ugly holes, and now I'm ready to reveal the super smelter. Here we go. Here it is! Oh, I think it looks so cool. I mean, maybe I'm gassing myself up a little too much, but I think this looks awesome. The facade I just made by messing around with different block palettes. I know I wanted some like dark and light mixed inside of here, but I wasn't quite sure what I was going to do here. I think this looks so sick. It's awesome. It's centered perfectly on these sections of the wall, right? I just think it looks so cool. So the way this is going to work is you'll come in here, you load this chest with whatever you want to smelt. This is going to be the fuel chest down here, and then up here is where all of your smelted items will get delivered. There's just a bunch of random crap in here right now from when I was building the filter up there with the honey blocks and everything. So we'll obviously clear this out. The biggest issue we have right now, and you can probably guess this, we have no fuel. It gets a little more complicated than that, though. If I head down this little maintenance shaft we have right here, now some of this I don't fully understand, just to be honest. I practically understand everything, but some of the more precise timings and what exactly will happen if we remove some components, I'm not entirely sure about. I'm gonna do my best to explain this though. So this section over here, I do know is a modified hopper clock. So if we're familiar with Etho hopper clocks, this is essentially the same thing. It's just designed so we can actually move or not remove this powered trapdoor and let the minecart go. This is all a part of a precision timing system, so the reason why we're using this hopper clock is because we can put stacks in here and time it to send the minecart exactly when one of the pieces of our fuel expires, right? In other words, this is a precision furnace array, which means that when my charcoal runs out in this furnace, for example, the moment it runs out, this chest minecart is going to start going down the line and refueling it right away, right? So we're not backlogging a lot of fuel. We're not wasting anything. That's what makes this so nice. By the way, I've modified this a little bit. This is designed right now with this timing to use blaze rods. You'll actually need less items inside of here if you're designing it to use coal or charcoal, which is what Cubic Meter uses in his original video. Now, the issue here isn't really with the timing. The issue is with a mechanism behind this chest minecart. If I take a quick look at this chest minecart, you'll notice that it's empty, right? It gets loaded by this hopper, which is also empty, and we've also got a chest there. Everything's empty, right? I haven't loaded anything into there yet. If I come down through our little maintenance shaft here, this is a great little trick, by the way, if you need to get through one wide spaces. And then I hop up my little scaffolding. I can show you behind that chest minecart. Right behind it, we have a little comparator here, which is just checking to see if there are any items inside of the hopper. If there are not any items inside of the hopper, it activates this little mechanism here, which is going to prevent us from starting a smelting operation. So in short, we cannot start a smelting operation unless the chest minecart is full and there are some items in the hopper. I believe the reason Cubic Meter put that mechanism in there is because if you start an operation, say with 1 stack of fuel and 4 stacks of items, and there's only 1 stack inside of that chest minecart there, you could potentially do one operation where it would smelt, right? But then you would have 3 items left over inside of all the furnaces, right? And that would, I'm assuming, break the system and break the timing of things because you now have a backlog of items that aren't getting smelted. So there are 2 things we could do. I could just remove this system and keep an eye on it. I played around in my testing world with creating a indication system where it would take a comparator reading from this last furnace and then light up a copper bulb over there. I realize that's not the greatest solution in the world, though, because if I were to remove this mechanism and add that, it would just light up an indicator when it goes empty. However, in the situation we just described, where there is 1 stack of fuel and 4 stacks of things to be smelted, you wouldn't know that there wasn't enough fuel until it had already happened. So it didn't really seem that worth it. I kind of decided that keeping this mechanism in is for the best. That does mean that we need, let's see, a full chest of blaze rods and a full hopper of blaze rods in order to start the system. So blaze rods might not be the best bet. We're gonna try it, but I might come back down here and modify it to use charcoal, or maybe we'll set up like a kelp farm or something in the future and it can use that instead. All right. Okay. Okay. So oh my god. There's so many zombies. In conclusion, what we need to do in order to get this thing working is get a ton of blaze rods. So that's the next thing we're going to do. We're going to go gather all the blaze rods, and we're going to go get several stacks from the blaze farm. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, this is the good stuff. Check us out. That's kind of messed up, isn't it, to wear their heads while we kill them en masse? Oh, okay. We used every part of the blaze. Yeah. So that took way too long. We started doing this before I had to leave for work, and that was like an hour in. We had, I think, 2 rows of the shulker box filled up. And I was probably, not consistently doing this. I was doing other work, but it was at least a couple hours in order to get all these blaze rods. Now, we've got plenty, so we're going to be able to do some more smelting. But every time we smelt, it's going to use a stack of these blaze rods. So unless we're smelting 12 stacks of items every time we smelt, this is not going to be super sustainable. And, I would like for the super smelter to be something that you can use anytime. So with all that being said, ideally, what I'm going to do in the near future is create some sort of kelp farm, maybe a coal farm if that's a thing and I can figure out how to do it, in order to create a, let me turn the music off here really quick. In order to create a consistent and constant fuel source for the smelter. Let's load all of our blaze rods into this thing. I'm going to set this up and just chuck all of these blaze rods into this chest here. All right, and then they're going to filter down into the hopper, into the chest minecart. Actually, I just realized that it makes no sense to do it this way. I should just come down here and load it directly into the chest minecart to start, or else it's going to take ages. Okay, so the chest minecart is completely full. We'll start to see our backlog of blaze rods getting stored inside of this hopper. Okay, and just to prove to you what I was saying earlier, notice how this comparator is now on, which sends a signal over here and turns this redstone torch off so we don't have this piston extended. It means we can start smelting. Except for one more thing. We really shouldn't start smelting yet, because if we do, we're going to run into some problems. This minecart track right here, right? This will load things. If I go ahead and throw this just bone into here, for example, this is going to load things into, which one did it go into? This one right here. It's going to load things into the top, right? That's the stuff that's going to be smelted, as we all know. This chest is going to be first. So it's going to load everything that needs to be smelted first. And then the coal, or the blaze rods for us, comes second. So what will happen is if we try to run it now, because none of the furnaces have fuel inside them yet, we aren't going to start smelting right away, which means the timing is going to be off for the chest minecart to collect things, which means we're not going to get all of our items back. So what we need to do first is put fuel inside each one of these furnaces. Now, if I was a normal man, I would just go through and do this by hand. But I am not a normal man. No, this is technical Minecraft, baby. And I spent so many hours figuring out all these technical Minecraft things so I could create a tiny little addition that will allow us to initialize all of the blaze rods with the single press of a button. If I look right here, you'll notice there's a redstone torch. This redstone torch is what controls whether or not this chest cart gets sent out and this clock begins to loop. So all we really need to do is make a circuit that will briefly turn off that redstone torch, send the chest minecart going. That way it fills up everything for us, and then the entire machine will be initialized so we can start smelting. Just to show you what this looks like, this repeater right here is what's powering this whole system. It powers this block right here, and then that sends power to this repeater and this repeater. So if I just remove this block right here for a second, you can see that sent the minecart going. Now I just need to get this back in here, and by the time the chest cart arrives, the trapdoor will already be back down, right? So we just need to do that with a circuit. Okay, so this is almost definitely overkill for this situation, but my idea is that we'll just have a sticky piston situated downward here, and it'll push, using a connection of slime blocks, this whole thing down, pulse this, so we get that redstone torch to turn off, and then of course when the piston pulls it back up, it won't detect that pulse. So it should, at least if I am thinking of this correctly, it should only pulse once. And that will be that. So pretty easy. We just need to get a piston and replace these stone blocks with slime blocks. Oh, so in getting the slime blocks, I just realized how dumb I am. I forgot that we've already loaded the blaze rods into the chest. So these are probably all loaded up with 2 blaze rods, aren't they? Yep. Oh, that is just awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and remove all of them because I want to see that this mechanism works since we've worked on it. And in case we ever need to initialize this again, for example, if we change the fuel type, it will still be a useful button to have. So I just want to make sure it works and that we can use it in the future. And the best way to test that with the least amount of pain is just to remove everything that's in the furnaces right now, set up the circuit, and then run it again. Everything should work about this. Okay, everything should be good, so let's push the button and see if it all works. Okay, let's see. I put it in the right place, right? Okay, let's see. Okay. Okay, it sent it out. It sent it out. It only pulsed one time, right? Okay, I think that's good. I think that's good. Now let's go check to make sure that all of the furnaces are full after our minecart gets back. Perfect. All right, moment of truth. Did it work out for us? Yes, it did. It did. Okay, so they're all loaded with 1 blaze rod, which means it's ready. It's ready. I'm so excited to try it out. For our first operation, I'm going to smelt, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oop, nope, not that. 9, 10, 11. Okay, we need 3 more stacks. We need 3 more stacks because the reason why I'm choosing to smelt 12 is because 1 blaze rod should be able to smelt 12 items. So ideally, if everything is working correctly in this system, we should only need 1 stack of our blaze rods in order to smelt all 12 stacks of this cobblestone. I'm a little bit worried for this. I did the math to try to figure out the amount of items we needed to put inside of that hopper clock in order for this to time out correctly. But I'll be honest, I haven't tested it yet. So I don't know if this is going to work. You're going to be experiencing it with me. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Remember, it's going to take a second. Actually, let's empty this out first. All of the stuff is in there. Ugh. Moment of truth. I'm going to press this button and it should start. Okay, it's gone. Oh, I want a free cam to check it, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to. I'm just going to see if it works. Oh no, I think something might be broken. culprit is right here. So again, I went through, made sure everything was ticking, and then I realized that this is not going to detect any updates from the door here. What we need to do is that. Put this, and let's make sure we're right here. Okay, yeah. We need to do, and I remember why I did this. It was because I couldn't actually do this right. Oh, man. Let's get down here. Go ahead and put that right there. And to finish this off, we need this powered rail right here. Right, and this should send one more chest card down for us. Beautiful. And with that, I think we fixed it. Oh, hopefully this is the last damn time I have to say that. This time, for sure, we are going to get all of our items. So for the last time, I'm gonna load this up with 12 items. And we're gonna press the button. And everything is going to work this time. Let me just make sure, again, that we don't have any extra fuel inside of our furnaces. I think everything on that front has been good. Okay, perfect. Here we go. Last time. I should see all these slots start to fill up soon. Oh, why? Why, God? Oh, it's happening! It's happening! Oh my God, I thought it wasn't working. Oh, it's happening. It's finally done! Woo! Let's go, let's go, let's go! Oh my God. Oh. This took so long to debug. I had no idea it was going to take this long to debug. But it works like a charm now. We have so much smooth stone. It's great. You can see we got it all filling up inside of here. Oh, it's awesome. It's so great. It's so great. The timing is perfect with the blaze rods. Okay, so we should only have one inside here now. The timing is perfect. How many do we have left in here? Okay, we have enough for a few more operations in there. Oh. Alright, I've finished putting together all the instructions for this, so this is what the finished facade is gonna look like. We've got a key just telling you which chest is which, sign telling you to begin the operation, the fuel initializer here, and you'll notice that I put this inside of an item frame because we don't need anybody pressing this button over here on accident. And then I also created a little instruction manual over here, which tells you everything you need to know about using the super smelter. I've also got a test subject. Hi, Mimi. Okay, so I want to see if she can use it without me helping her too much. So we're going to go around, and you said you wanted to gather some ores, right?
Yeah.
To smelt? All right, so we've got a bunch of ores just lying around here. We're going to go gather a bunch of them up and fill them inside this chest here. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
We've got 9 stacks, which is still pretty good. So, whenever you're ready, feel free to press the button, Mimi. You gotta... you're gonna break it. Alright, off it goes. Now I'm also hoping this still works. It worked when I tested it just a second ago. Oh, there it goes. Alright, and then up here, this is the fuel chest. So hopefully we'll start to see the smelted items come in through there. I haven't tried doing it with mixed items yet, so I hope it works. I think it will. Hey, here they come, here they come.
Would have loved
Before the observatory, yeah. So y'all can't hear Mimi, but she spent so long getting all of the copper for the observatory if I fly up here. The entire roof is made of copper, so she was saying she would have loved to have this for the observatory. But now for your next big project, you'll have it.
so true.
Oh, and the mixed items works too. Nah, I'm gonna give you something. Okay. So since you helped me out, I want to give you one of these. All right? Here you go. It's your free trial pass. So after January, all this hard work I've been putting into making all these machines, it's not gonna be for free anymore. No charity anymore. Right? So that's your free trial. Enjoy everything the VIP lounge has to offer till the end of January. And then after, I don't know what the price is gonna be yet, but after January, we're gonna start charging for the privilege.
Hey.
All right, y'all. That's it for this episode. Thank you so much for watching. Sorry this one is going to come out a little bit later. Building this was a huge endeavor for me. It was my first ever huge technical project. So more to come. Next up, we're either going to work on the kelp farm that's going to attach to this, or we'll try to set up the shulker farm next. Both are going to be pretty big projects, so we'll see which one I'm feeling up to. But for now, thanks for watching. Make sure to leave some comments and let me know what you liked and what maybe I could improve on. And of course, like and subscribe. Or else you'll make me very sad. All right, bye. Thanks.